The Shady Past of 6ix9ine.
And you know how mad all these haters that wish I was in jail is right now?
Do you want to win any of these items on your screen? If so, be sure to watch the whole video, leave a like, and comment the hidden message. And with that being said, let's get right into the video. In the rap world right now, one story has been going on since November of last year, and it continues to get more and more complex. And this, of course, would be the arrest and incarceration of 6ix9ine. The King of New York has had an interesting career in music, including lining up hit songs and teaming up with big-name rappers. But his arrest in November by the FBI opened up a lot of eyes to his true nature. However, people often forget that this wasn't his first arrest. It was actually the latest in a long string of them. Allow me to give you a look at his shady past. Be sure to like the video and subscribe to King Trending. Number 6. The first major arrest.
There's no sexual intercourse between me and a female at all. It's just I got arrested for being in the situation.
6ix9ine was born Daniel Hernandez, and from a young age it was clear that he was actually destined to be divisive. And I really don't say that just looking at his current legal situation, but rather he felt he was the king of New York when he was young, long before he ever truly became a rapper. And that kind of arrogance is not becoming. And this attitude got him into a lot of trouble with other singers and rappers when he started to make his name known in the world of music. But if we are to look at his first major arrest, we'd actually have to go to the time before he was truly 6ix9ine. And this was actually on his way to building up his name before becoming said controversial rapper. In fact, it's not a stretch to say that Tekashi's whole career has been honestly modeled after the mantra of my image above all else. And if you don't believe me, look at what his appearance is like. The colored hair, which has dried out in jail, the teeth, the face tattoos, everything is about being the rapper image. And it was this mentality of being like a rapper that this was the start of his problems. For all the way back in 2015, he got arrested for using underage girls in an explicit video. Confused? 6ix9ine was hanging out with some friends, and they felt that if he wanted to be a rapper, he needed to be seen in this kind of rapper light, for example, doing something kind of controversial.
You know what I'm saying? You know, girls lie about ages. Everyone knows this, right?
She was 14.
A lot of people get caught up in this, right? Yeah.
So he invited some girls over to do a suggestive video with him and his pals. The problem wasn't that the video was explicit, it was the underage girl's part. People take the age limit very seriously. Now, as 6ix9ine has brought up many times over the next several sessions with the police, judges, and more, he didn't touch the girls in the video, which is true. He also noted that he didn't know that the girls were underage. He himself was 18 at the time, and he thought the girls were older because of how they talked and the questions they would ask. And never once, according to him at least, did they ever say they were underage. So technically speaking, what they did was on their own violation. And the video would go on technically to prove this. After all was said and done, 6ix9ine got off on the charge for the most part. And by for the most part, I mean that the plea deal he got came with a lot of stipulations, including getting his GED, apologizing to the parents of the girl in the video, and more. Sure enough, he did apologize to the parents, but when it came to getting his GED, he filed multiple continuances. And at the time of this video, he still hasn't gotten it, which technically should have gotten him in jail, and a court battle was still going on to try and bust him for not following the stipulations of his plea deal, and yet he didn't get busted. Not for that anyway. But while many people would look at this situation and think, 6ix9ine would be grateful for the close call that he had there and try to get better, he honestly didn't. In fact, he just doubled down on his stupidity. Number 5. The assault arrest. So by his next arrest, 6ix9ine had tried and failed to live up to the terms of his plea deal in the previous arrest. But 6ix9ine didn't end his crime spree there. He let his ego and anger get the best of him in an incident in Houston, Texas. And what he did there was literally incontrovertible, or at least that's what it should have been. A 16-year-old fan was trying to get a video of 6ix9ine as he saw him going through the airport, which for the record is completely legal, as it was his own camera being used in a public place. However, when 6ix9ine saw this, he grabbed the kid by the collar and then used his bodyguards to get the kid to erase the video. I'm sure on the surface it seems like various other celebrity incidents that have happened over the years, but honestly, in truth, Tekashi went far and beyond what should have been done here. Instead of just asking the kid to erase the tape, or even gotten one of the bodyguards to block the camera so the film couldn't be made, 6ix9ine and his crew went after this kid and actually threatened him in order to get the video erased. Unfortunately for him, there are a lot of others at the scene recording their own videos, and this is what got him in big trouble. All of these videos were given to the police, and an outstanding warrant was put out for him. Ironically enough, that warrant wasn't served until a police officer pulled him over for reckless driving and found out that he was actually driving without a license, adding to that long list of things that 6ix9ine has done. At this point, you would think that 6ix9ine would be put away, He had a warrant for his arrest, proof that the assault on the fan was actually done, and more. But in a bizarre twist of fate, the kid actually came into the court before the judge and begged them not to prosecute 6ix9ine for what he had done. This led to many thinking that something shady had gone on behind the scenes, which seems to be proven when a picture of 6ix9ine and the kid was put on social media. Regardless, he got off again, and instead of learning his lessons, he continued to do more crimes. Number 4. Hurting a police officer. As I noted earlier, the Houston arrest was done because of 6ix9ine driving without a license, which he had lost because of his arrest. But did that stop him from driving his expensive cars? You'd have to be dreaming. No, of course not. He continued to drive them, and that led to even more misdemeanor arrests and charges because he decided that driving was more important than being in jail potentially by getting caught. Again, proving that 6ix9ine is clearly not capable of rational thought, or at the very least decides all avenues to try and have such thoughts. By far though, one of the oddest and weirdest arrests came from one of his misdemeanors. He went out and scuffled with a police officer who was basically trying to apprehend him. Though the details aren't exactly clear, 6ix9ine apparently got up in the officer's face, then wouldn't let go of his hand. And other things happened as well that led to the officer getting hurt. He was arrested again and arraigned on these charges, but once again he got off, making many wonder if he would actually get arrested in a way that would stick. And to be clear, these are just the crimes that we know for sure about. Number 3. The hidden crimes.
Born Daniel Hernandez has a long history with law enforcement. In October, he was sentenced to 4 years probation.
Usually it would be wrong for us to speculate on the potential crimes that 6ix9ine may or may not have done in his tenure. But in truth, especially due to his current jail situation, it's actually very valid. You see, 6ix9ine is part of a crew called the Trey Nines, a notorious group that is based in New York, and they do some pretty violent things and various illegal endeavors in the goal of trying to make their own empire. 6ix9ine has been part of this group for some time, and by that token had to do some illegal things for them, which is proven by his most recent and potential final arrest. So to be fair and honest, it's possible that 6ix9ine had played host to many crimes over the years that we won't know about because of the shady nature of this group. But what might he have done? It's hard to say, but based on what happened last November, you could bet that it could be linked to conspiracy to committing crime to harm another, illegally buying and the distribution of products of all kinds and functions, and causing harm to others in order to ensure that they didn't infringe on the Trey Nine's territories. And given his day job as a rapper, it's also fair to say that he used his status to get other things done under people's noses. He likely wouldn't have gotten arrested if it weren't for the FBI. Number 2. The final arrest.
6ix9ine was arrested over the weekend along with his ex-manager Shady and another ex-crew member that goes by Crippy.
There's no denying that 6ix9ine has built up a great reputation of getting out of jail on technicalities or dumb luck. But the one thing he can't deny is that these acts and his association with the Trey Nines have gotten him into the spotlight of the federal government, specifically the FBI. We started to work on building a case against 6ix9ine for some time, and this all led to his arrest in November of 2018 on charges of conspiracy, racketeering, illegal possession, and much more. What's more, he wasn't alone on those arrests. The FBI went and arrested many former crew members of 6ix9ine for their association with the crime enterprise they were doing. The severity of these charges and the fact that the FBI made the arrest themselves ensured that 6ix9ine wasn't going to get off on a glitch or a cheap trick. Not only did he go to jail, but he remained there incarcerated without bail, and his lawyer actually had to beg for his client to be put into a non-violent wing of the prison so that he wouldn't be, in 6ix9ine's own words, super violated. The judge did grant his request. For a little over 2 months, 6ix9ine remained in jail as the charges were laid out in front of him. 2 of the charges actually carried life sentences, which meant he was truly in trouble. And even if he somehow dodged those and got convicted on the others, he would find himself facing decades of jail time. Again, he wasn't getting out of this easily. Thus, he did the only legal move he could. He got a plea deal and became a snitch for the FBI. He turned over his testimony and evidence that would allow the FBI to go and actually help prosecute his former crew members, as well as take stabs at the Trey Nines because of what he was revealing to them. That's a huge deal. And it also comes with consequences, as I'll note a bit later on. At the time of this video, a vast majority of 6ix9ine's former crew have pleaded guilty to certain charges or have gotten plea deals of their own, though none as lavish as 6ix9ine's, as it's believed that he not only did dodge major jail time, his lawyers believe that he can actually appeal to the judge to let him out for time served because of his help to putting the others away. It's possible that this could happen, but if it does, that comes with a big problem. Number 1. A life after. After his plea deal went public, the rap community went nuts. Not because 6ix9ine had gotten a plea deal, but rather that he accepted it. There's a certain code in the rap community that is unspoken, and one of the biggest things in it is that you don't be a snitch. And yet, 6ix9ine is one now, and many rappers have shunned him as part of the community as a result. So whether he'll be a big name in rap, should he ever get out, is up for debate. But as much of a debate is whether he'll be able to get back to his former life. While the FBI maybe be able to make moves against the Trey Nines, that doesn't mean that they'll will all be gone by the time 6ix9ine gets out, presuming that he gets out earlier or sooner than rather later. So it's fair to say that 6ix9ine will have a target on his back in the worst way possible. To that end, his plea deal has a clause that includes witness protection should he feel that he needs it. So even with the deal he made and the potential time saved, it's fair to say that 6ix9ine isn't really out of the woods just yet. And even if he is, his very shady past will never stop haunting him. So what do you think of this look into the shady past of 6ix9ine? Can you believe that it took this long for one of his arrests to stick? What do you think will happen to him in jail? And do you think his good behavior will get him out soon? And of course, who else would you like to know about in regards to their shady past? Let me know in the comments down below. Be sure to subscribe, and I'll see you next time on King Trending. A simple reminder on how to enter our brand new giveaway. We will be giving away either an iPhone X Max, the new iPad mini, or a MacBook Pro. It's really your choice. So be sure to leave a like, comment the keyword, subscribe, and turn on notifications to enter the giveaway. It's really that simple. Go for it.